Kirby and the Rainbow Curse is a strange game, and not in the best way. Its mechanics are similar to 2005 Nintendo DS title Kirby Canvas Curse. It takes its predecessor's unique mechanics, but pares them down into a game that alternates between boring and frustrating. Rainbow Curse starts with an evil force draining all color and life out of Kirby's homeland. So he sets out through an alternate dimension to stomp enemies, collect stars, and get the color back. Players guide Kirby through 7 worlds, each with 3 separate stages and 1 boss battle on their way to stop the evil. But this isn't the kind of Kirby game you'd expect. There's no sucking up enemies, no stomping on their heads, none of the traditional combat and movement. Instead, you move Kirby using the gamepad stylus, drawing rainbow lines on the screen for him to roll along. The direction you draw the line in is the direction Kirby will take. Tapping on Kirby will make him move faster in the direction he's facing. Collecting 100 stars and then holding down the stylus will make Kirby enlarge himself and move faster, allowing him to break thicker materials like metal and damage larger enemies. It's too simple and too unwieldy. Kirby's physics are floaty in Rainbow Curse, making for a rather uncomfortable experience. Corralling him, stopping him from moving, getting him to quickly change directions is a pain. You have to draw your lines quickly and in the right direction, or you could roll Kirby into certain doom. And if Kirby is already on the move, snagging him is even more of a pain. If you run out of magic paint to draw those lines, you're in trouble. Death comes easy in Rainbow Curse if you have difficulty adapting to this way of movement. There are also a handful of dedicated levels in which Kirby becomes a torpedo-shooting submarine or a plane or a slow-moving tank. These levels are the most infuriating as, again, you can only use stylus taps and swipes to guide him. For the submarine, tapping in an area both shoots missiles straight ahead and moves Kirby in that direction. In order to guide your missiles, you need to draw rainbow lines they can fly along. Same goes for plane Kirby, he needs rainbow tracks to guide him. This is where the difficulty spike in Rainbow Curse is most apparent. It expects you to adapt to drawing lines and being a vehicle early on, but doesn't give you much room to master, throwing you into harder situations too quickly. Beyond sliding along rainbows and rolling into enemies, normal Kirby can't do anything. No inhaling, no turning into a brick, no spin attack, nothing. These limitations make gameplay boring most of the time and frustrating in the more difficult boss battles. You never really feel like you have full control of Kirby. It's maddening. Levels do get progressively harder as the game goes on, and some of the latter ones are better with friends. Rainbow Curse lets you play with up to 3 companions as Waddle Dee, Kirby's pal. Waddle Dee is more useful than Kirby in many situations. Waddle Dee can jump, hover for small periods of time, and slash enemies. Having a Waddle Dee or 2 run support while Kirby floats around the screen collecting stars provides a safety net. Playing some of the latter stages solo feels almost a little scary. Luckily, the game is generous with 1-ups and health regeneration items, but that doesn't make failure hurt any less. Losing a life when you're trying to get Kirby to safety or avoid an enemy feels unfair when your movement is bound to a single track going in one direction. It's difficult to get some hidden collectibles, but honestly there's no incentive to get them at all. Nor is there any fun in playing in challenge mode, where you are given a set of 4 stages that last 15 seconds each. In each stage, you must maneuver through obstacles to reach a treasure chest. Fail to reach the chest in more than one room, and you lose the challenge. These rooms are bite-sized pieces of the tamer stretches of some levels, and their rewards, in-game collectibles, aren't enough to justify the time spent unless you're a completionist. Rainbow Curse does have Amiibo functionality, but it barely makes a difference with gameplay. Tapping a Kirby Amiibo to the gamepad allows you to use Kirby's Star Dash at any time. Using King Dedede gives Kirby 2 extra health bars, and the Meta Knight Amiibo gives Kirby a power boost. But if Kirby dies once, loses just 1 life, the bonus is lost, and you can only use 1 Amiibo once per day with Rainbow Curse. The functionality feels forced in, honestly, and is ineffective in the long run. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse is an okay game. It's beautiful to look at, filled with gorgeous, bright, claymation-style environments and swaths of color, but the beauty is skin deep. Its mechanic is monotonous and at times unreliable, making for a game based on trial and error that's not very interesting. It doesn't matter how seasoned a vet you are here. Kirby's difficult handling and strict movement make things unfun.